If you go to the second level of Reiki, they give you symbols, which are for the removal of blockages. If you do acupuncture, they say that the flows in the meridians are stopped by blockages. All of the techniques of acupuncture are to remove energy blockages. All of the techniques of Reiki are for the removal of energy blockages. All of the techniques of the emotional freedom technique are for the removal of blockages. The only difference between these techniques and energy enhancement techniques is that energy enhancement goes deeper and more intense to remove even the most difficult blockages. I have been trained in acupuncture for a year, and through my own experience, I know that acupuncture cannot remove the deepest energy blockages. I have seen the techniques of Reiki. I am a Reiki master, and I know that Reiki cannot remove the deepest and most dangerous energy blockages. And the tapping technique of the emotional freedom technique will only remove the lightest energy blockages. You will not be able to go very deeply with those. Energy enhancement will remove the deepest and most dense energy blockages. It will give you techniques to find these blockages and to remove them, which are far in advance of any other technique on this planet. In reality, there is only one technique that goes as deep as energy enhancement, and that is called spiritual healing, by the National Federation of Spiritual Healers of Great Britain, who I was trained by when I was a lot younger. But in reality, the level of healing that you get with spiritual healing depends deeply upon the level of evolution of the healer and on the level of knowledge of the healer. And energy enhancement techniques have been built out of a thorough knowledge of all of these techniques of Reiki, of emotional freedom technique, of spiritual healing, and all of the defects of those particular techniques. Acupuncture as well, because that doesn't go very far. By seeing the defects of all of those techniques through using them, we have developed techniques whereby we can go even more deeply into the blockages. For example, you will never remove a strategy or an inner child by means of the preceding techniques. Acupuncture will not touch it. Emotional freedom technique will not touch it. Spiritual healing can touch it depending upon the evolution of the healer. But you've got to have a very evolved healer to get as far as removing inner children. You have to go to somebody like Daskalos in Cyprus. Daskalos was a great healer. He's dead now. He used to be the reincarnation of Origen, the great Christian saint. Origen was having difficulty because, like all healers, like all saints, they attract the attention of the dark side. And the dark side was saying of Origen that he was making love with all of his female students. Because, it's very easy to destroy a reputation that has taken 20 years to create. The dark side always comes at you with bad things like that. So Origen had a wonderful idea. He said, I will go to the surgeon and I will ask him to remove my genitals. And that's what he did. And then what could they say against him after that? Totally destroyed the rumour that was going around about him. So this was Daskalos. And Daskalos said, when he was a young man, he didn't really have a lot of experience that he did when he was a little bit older. And one day, a Greek millionaire, a Greek shipping millionaire, came to him and said, you've got to help my son. My son is in a very, very bad way. My son is a homosexual. He is a drug addict. He is a gambler. who gambles away all of his money. And you need to heal him of all of these things. Well, of course, these addictions, these level of blockage, come from the desires. And they are created by means of energy blockages, usually from hurt inner children. Daskalos went to the guy, and he removed the blockage of gambling. He removed the blockage of homosexuality. He removed the blockage of addiction. And he was on to heroin and cocaine, this guy, using them all over the place. He just removed them entirely. And very happily, he went away, and the Greek millionaire gave him God knows how much money, because he was very good at his job. But the next day, the Greek millionaire rang up. He said, "You've got to come, Daskalos. You've got to come, Daskalos. My son, he is lying on the bed. He is not moving, and there is spittle coming out of the side of his mouth." And Daskalos understood what he had done wrong. You see, there are many people in life, and they do not have a connection with their soul. They are not soul infused. They are not even in contact with their soul a little bit. And he understood that in order for this guy to evolve, he needed to evolve by means of one of these split off parts of himself. So he came to the conclusion he had to leave him one of the blockages in order for him to evolve. He thought, what is the most dangerous blockage? Well, drug addiction is not very good. That's got to stay out. And he said, gambling can entirely destroy your life. You can lose all of your money in this way. He said there's only one that will evolve the guy, and that is the blockage of homosexuality. Well, he was Greek, wasn't he? So he went back and he gave him back the blockage of homosexuality, and the young Greek millionaire had a wonderful life. He got a villa on a Greek island. He filled it full of works of art. He bought himself a piano, and he learned how to play the piano. It was beautiful. He used to have beautiful boyfriends all around him, and he used to give parties all the time. So in this way, he was able to evolve in a way that moved him on. In energy enhancement, we might say, before removing all of the addictions, first create a connection with the soul by removing all of the blockages above the crown chakra. We would be different from Daskalos, but that is the level of Daskalos's level of being. Very high, able to remove blockages like that, but not understanding that in past lifetimes, this guy had entered into the dark side of the force and had been implanted above the head with these dark energy blockages to draw him back to the dark side and to cut him off from his soul. When you do not have a connection with your soul, and the dark side of the force lives by being split. By being split, it has full access to the functions. So it splits itself into many, many, many different subpersonalities in a hierarchy of subpersonalities which are very difficult to remove. But what keeps them all in place is the lack of connection to the soul. Once the soul starts coming in, it starts to heal everything underneath. So the first thing that you need to do is to remove the blockages above your crown chakra. This will give you more power to remove all the other blockages. Daskalos, a great healer. Energy enhancement goes deeper and more thoroughly than all the other techniques in the universe. Well, at the moment. I'm sure there'll be better ones later.